Hi everyone, welcome to Smart Code, and today we are going to start a brand new series on ReactJs, and this is the popularity graph around ReactJs, not basically around ReactJs, all the famous frameworks, the front-end frameworks are there, and we can clearly see the popularity of ReactJs is way more than the other frameworks, and it's keep growing with time, although there is a minor dip here in 2023, but the popularity is double as compared to the other frameworks, and we can see a few other graphs as well. So the main purpose of sharing those details is why we are learning React.js. So that is the one answer. Other answer is React.js is one of the most popular frameworks developed by Facebook, and the key features are it's component based, which means we can build different components and those components can be reused later on, even for your buttons or every tiny element you can create your custom component. We will see in our tutorials later on. The other good thing is virtual DOM, which separates this framework from most of the other frameworks because it improves the performance of the web page drastically. The other thing is JSX syntax, and which enables the developer to write HTML with almost same syntax like JavaScript. And we can also say that React.js is declarative framework, which means UI can change itself depending on the current state of the component. In simple words, we only need to deal with the states. We can change the states based on the different events happening on the page. The UI will render itself based on those states. So these are the 4 5 main key features of React.js after the popularity. So popularity is there. Although this seems very boring to go through these theoretical details, but it's very important to go through them to know about the React.js, why we are learning it, and I'm sure that is the first and last video where we are talking that much about the theoretical details of this framework. So it was developed by Facebook. Later on, it's used in Instagram application, and yeah, the component based architecture. Let me wrap up with the highlights. So component based architecture, we already have discussed that. Performance due to the virtual DOM. Declarative UI, because a state can take care of UI, so we need to set the states and state will decide how the UI will look. This strong ecosystem, what I mean by that, there is a huge set of libraries available for React, and those libraries are keep coming. So for every component, every feature we want, there are multiple libraries available, open source. We can just install them and we can use them. And the community support, there is a huge community backing up that React framework. And of course, this is a cross platform because that is a JavaScript and this is running on the top of Node, so it can be developed and deployed on multiple OS. And also, if you learn React.js, you can easily learn React Native, which is similar to React.js. And if you learn that, you can create the native mobile apps as well. And yeah, flexibility is another important aspect of it. That means if you already have built a web project, you can reuse its components anywhere else as well, because the components are designed in a way that they can be used and utilized anywhere in any project where required. So these are the key highlights. So, and I promise that's all from the theoretical part. Let's jump straight to the practical work. So for React.js development, we will need Node.js, and for Node.js, I will recommend to download and install the latest long-term support version. If you go to the Google and type Node.js install Windows. So let's go here. One thing, that UI is bit updated from Node.js, and now we have different ways to install. As we can see that if you are a new developer or learning for the first time, I will recommend to go to the pre-built installer. From here, you need to select long-term support version and your OS and the architecture of your OS, and you can download and install. So with Node.js, we have npm bundled up as well. We don't need to install that separately. Once Node install, you need to go to the CMD. Let me open up, and from here I will select command prompt, and you can type to check the Node installation, node space -v. So I have 18.3.0 installed on my machine. That was the one thing. The first part, you have the Node.js installed on your system. Second thing is the command to create the React application. Now the command is npx space create dash react dash app and space the name of your app. We can name it React series, or most probably we can name it ReactJs series. And maybe this is a new word for you, npx. Previously you might have heard about npm. So npm is Node Package Manager, the remote repository where all the packages are available to pull, download, and utilize in your application. And npx is a way to utilize or use, consumes those packages without downloading it, right? So there are few packages which we can directly utilize without downloading them. So that is the one of that package, which is create dash react dash app. So that is the difference between npm and npx. I will not going to run that command here because that is not my working directory. We can just highlight it and press enter. My working directory is a bit different. So let me show you what is another way to open the cmd and VS Code in a specific directory. So we have React.js, and inside that I have that folder series, and now I want my app to be created here inside that folder. I will click on the address bar and I will type cmd and will hit enter. This will open up the cmd from within that directory address. From here I can just use that command create React app, and that is React.js series, and I can hit enter. Oops, so that's fine. We can use small letters React.js series. It will take some time to download that the create React app template and install all the dependencies from within that template. So again, first step was install Node.js on your machine, and after that you need to check its version just to make sure that it's installed successfully. Next you need to open up cmd, the command line, and run that command, which is npx space create dash react dash app space name of your application or project, and hit enter. We can see that the React.js series folder is created here, and if we look into that one, there are only 2 entries at the moment, and that because the template is currently being downloaded and packages are being installed. Another thing could be the comparison of the front-end frameworks. Why React.js, why not Angular or Vue? So that is another very interesting and important discussion which we will do later on in this series. But in my opinion, if you have understanding and hands-on on React.js framework, that is a plus point, and that will be more preferred in my opinion, because from market perspective I can see there are more openings related to React.js than the Angular or Vue at the moment. So that is for now at this point of time. Maybe in future Vue.js or Angular gets more popularity in terms of job openings, but I will definitely recommend to start with React.js. So that is the end. We have that template installed. That was all for this video. For any questions or queries, do ask me in the comments, and see you in the next one.